What's up, everybody? Welcome back to thatSoRae. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. Today's video is actually a requested video from my girl Nisha. Thank you so much, girly, for this request. The request is how we planned our wedding and also what it was like to plan a destination wedding, and is it better than your traditional wedding, and all of our thoughts on how the whole process went. I thought this was so amazing for anybody who is planning a wedding or just wanting to know how everything ended up going for us. So make sure you stay tuned and see all the details. First things first, let's begin with our experience with planning our wedding. We got engaged in February of 2017. We started the wedding searching process with looking on this app called The Knot, and with doing that we were able to look at all different places around Kentucky to try to see about how much everything would cost. With looking at the different venues, nothing was really under $2,300, and when you start to look at how much a DJ would cost, how much a caterer, cake, linens for everything, decorations, it adds up really fast. And we were looking at probably $10,000 easy, including having to feed all the guests, all the decorations, all the everything. I just couldn't even imagine us having to pay that much, and the fact that we were gonna pay for everything ourselves. Yes, my parents did volunteer to help us out tremendously, but we declined their offer because I just couldn't see taking that much money from my parents for one day. Fast forward to the beginning of 2019, we were still looking for how we were going to do this wedding, and we ran across some gorgeous beach weddings. You all, when you look at those, they're so breathtaking, they're gorgeous, and also when you start to search those prices, the prices are really unbeatable compared to the prices that we were looking at with having a wedding back home. So it was like a done deal. We absolutely love the beach so much, and we knew that this is something that we wanted to do. Then began the process of us searching for a company to have our beach wedding. This was a process where you have to literally put all your trust in the reviews that you read, the way that these people communicate with you, and just talking to them on the phone. There's no like an in-person thing that you're able to do. The best thing that you could probably do is like a Skype, literally based on your gut instinct. You want to make sure you read all reviews and look everywhere you can for the reviews when you end up deciding to go with a company, to make sure that is truly the company that you want to go with. We searched Google reviews, Yelp, we looked on their Instagram, their Facebook, everywhere to make sure that this company was a genuine, a legit company, so we did not get scammed. Also, to make sure they had good communication with other people that they had their weddings for, and if all of their decorations and everything turned out nice, if they had a photographer that was great. You have to look into every aspect so that way you aren't lacking in anything since you're so far away. After all of that searching that we did, we ended up finding the perfect company to go with. They were called Affordable Beach Weddings / Notary on Time. They had so many pictures on Instagram, hundreds and hundreds of previous weddings that they ended up doing. And they had this gorgeous arch pictured on their page, and we knew absolutely that this is the arch that we wanted to go with when doing our wedding. So when you crunch all the numbers together, our wedding in total was $1,568. That arch set us back $500. So if you didn't want to go with an arch like that, you would be looking at saving $500. So that means your wedding would be in the low 1000s, you guys. Beach weddings are very, very affordable. It depends on how you want to add on to it. There were so many aspects that we could have added on to it, whether that be poles going down each side of us, having flowers laying on the ground, depending on if you want people to be at your wedding. They did have chair setups also with the ribbons on them. This would be a perfect wedding for people who want to have a nice big wedding on the beach, or an intimate wedding with just a few people or just the two of you all. There are so many different packages that you can choose from. You're not limited to just a few of them. There were probably a good 20, if not more, packages on their website that we could pick from. Also, keep in mind, depending on the beach that you want to get married at, it may cost money. We were originally looking at getting married on Miami Beach, and that was actually $150 extra. Then when voicing our opinion to our wedding planner, she did advise that Fort Lauderdale Beach was free. So we knew then that Fort Lauderdale Beach was already gorgeous, so we ended up just going with Fort Lauderdale, which I am so happy that we did because it helped in the end save us money, and it was still as gorgeous as it could ever be. Next thing is, money is due up front for half of your wedding. So you have to make sure that you do have all that money together, so that way you can save your time slot for your date that you want to get married. Then comes the contract for your wedding. Make sure you read every piece on that paper, you guys. Even though it's all sent like via email, make sure you read every detail. If you have any questions about it, reach out to them to see about what it is that you're questioning. Probably, if not almost all beach weddings, they have an agreement on there that the weather will cancel out your wedding if you do not have a backup plan. Like, say if you're staying at a hotel, you can rent out maybe their community area in there where they can set up your arch at. But if you don't have a backup plan, then your wedding will be canceled and there is no rescheduling that. So make sure that you have a backup plan. We did not have a backup plan, and we just had to give it to God and hope that everything was gonna be okay. And the next thing on that contract was that you needed to get your wedding certificate in the state that you're wanting to get married at, which was Florida for us. We could not get a certificate in Kentucky. We had to get one in the state of Florida, and we had to get it done before the wedding so we could give that to our officiant to sign off on it to send it back to the county clerks. The good thing about not being a Florida resident is that you're able to get that wedding certificate done right then and there, because if you are a Florida resident, you do have to wait, I believe, a time period for it. So make sure you're looking into that just in case you do live in Florida. We also had a wedding photographer who was included in the package that we had, and pouring of the sand. And this all included with our officiant and everything, so you did not have to worry about any added costs besides having to pay for your own wedding certificate, which I believe was no more than like $100 if I can recall. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact price, but it wasn't too pricey. And when we went down there was quite a few people in that building, but it moved pretty fast, so we were able to get everything taken care of within like not even 2 hours, so it wasn't really too bad of a wait. Then began the dress search, the funnest part of all, finding my dream dress. You guys, already had in mind of the dress that I wanted. I've always loved lace sleeve dresses. Yes, we were getting married on a beach. No, I did not care that this dress would be lace with long sleeves. I had this idea in mind and there was no going back from it. When going to David's Bridal, the price range that I had was very inexpensive. I was not wanting to spend a whole lot of money on this dress since I would only be wearing it once. So straight to the back is where I went, where a lot of dresses are on clearance or they have those sale dresses back there. Then I found this gorgeous gown that I fell in love with the second I put it on, and it was breathtaking. Now this dress ended up being super huge on me, so I did have to get alterations done. Alterations ended up costing literally probably more than the dress, I believe. I believe alterations were probably around $200. It really depends on how much altering they're gonna have to do to your dress, and also how much you're wanting to add onto your dress. With that being said, I did get breast pads added to my dress just to give me a little bit more shape and figure, because I am sort of on the flat chested side, and they did take in underneath the sleeves, like underneath the armpits, and that costs more because of it being a lace dress, and they're a lot harder to alter. Make sure you find out the quoted price of how much that will be, so you don't end up being shocked when you get this huge bill that your dress could end up being cheaper than what your alterations cost. With that being said, my parents were so wonderful. They volunteered to pay for my dress. I did not want them to do it, but they did it anyway, and I was so grateful. So thank you so much for that, Mom and Dad. I appreciate it so much. I ended up getting this gorgeous belt to go with my dress at David's Bridal. It was so beautiful. It just wrapped around and added a nice little bit of elegance to the dress and didn't overdo it. Also, keep in mind that it will take a few months for your dress to get altered. So do not go in there thinking that your dress is going to be altered in a few weeks, because it doesn't work out like that, especially if you're getting married during a peak time. You may be set back a long time. So start your dress search early. I had no idea about this beforehand, so going in there, I'm glad that I had enough time to get this dress finished before our wedding date. Alright, we are a week out from our wedding, and our wedding planner's sister had completely unexpectedly passed away. That was something that we did not know how to take. We could only imagine how her and her family were doing. Our hearts went out to all of them. We just didn't know how things would go from there. We were a little worried because we were just like, is everything still going to work out okay? Because I couldn't even begin to imagine what she would be going through. And then the fact that when that week came out, it was gonna rain almost 100% chance on July the 8th, our expected wedding date. Good news is that she was wonderful with working with us and changing that date to July the 11th when it was no chance of rain whatsoever, and everything ended up working out for the best with changing that date. But still, we still had this heavy heart for her. In our situation, we were very lucky that we were able to change the date to a later date where she had that open flexibility, but you may not be so lucky, so make sure you have that backup plan or just something set in place just in case that weather doesn't want to work out for you, because it is the state of Florida and rain can literally come in a blink of an eye. So you have to be ready for those changing conditions. The next thing is packing our wedding attire in our suitcase to head down to Florida. The first thing that I wanted to get was my wedding bouquet. Yes, our wedding planner did offer to give me a bouquet for the wedding, but I really wanted something special and something personal. So then began the Etsy search to try to find a beautiful bouquet. I did not know that those bouquets would range in the high hundreds and up. So I was like, let me just DIY one. So I ended up being able to put one together for under 25 bucks. Got the flowers off of Amazon. These are in the color champagne, which I will link down below. This is two actually put together. It makes it look more fuller, so that's why I ended up going with two. And then just getting a little bit of burlap from Hobby Lobby, and then just a little bit of lace ribbon, hot gluing it all together, and it stayed together, bada bing, bada boom. Not much to this. Really simple. If this is something that you want to go for, then girl, go for it. It's very affordable. The next thing would be Kamrys boutonnière. These were around about $12. They did come with a set of 4. We packed all 4 with us just in case we would end up losing one. We would have backups. And they also just had that little pin on the back, so we didn't have to worry about trying to figure out how to get it to button up to his blazer. Last but not least is going to be my beautiful headband that I ended up having. And oh my goodness, look at this, you guys. I felt like a true princess with this thing on. If you look very close, it does have like pearls in there and also just little crystals. And it has a little ribbon tie behind it. And you can just put it as... Alright, you guys, this beautiful headband, which you can wear it really any way that you wanted to, was $19.99 on Amazon. I will link this below. It was very gorgeous and elegant. The ones at David's Bridal were quite expensive. The only thing that I got from David's Bridal was my belt, my dress, and also my earrings, but those are put up with my dress, so I don't currently have those because everything is wrapped up right now. We packed everything in our checked bag, you all. So we had to make sure that we got to that airport super early to make sure that that bag made it on the plane. And there was no guarantee that that bag was going to get made on the plane. So we had to just cross our fingers and hope that 2-hour long ride there, that it was in the bottom of that plane, because Lord knows if it wasn't, we wouldn't have had none of our stuff. So if you want to play it safe, make sure you either arrive to the airport super duper early, or just pack everything in a carry-on bag. So at least you'll have it. It may end up a little wrinkled, but hey, they have irons for that. At least you know for sure that you'll have your stuff with you. We stayed in Miami the entire trip that we were there until the day of the wedding. We were staying in an Airbnb down there, so we woke up at 3 a.m. Thursday morning to get ready for our special day. I did my makeup, curled my hair. Kamry learned how to tie a tie that morning. That was the first morning he ever attempted to tie a tie. As you see him watching that YouTube video, it's super cute, super memorable. Then we ended up getting all dressed, trying to get everything packed up and completely leaving the Airbnb, because we stayed in Fort Lauderdale after that and didn't end up coming back. So we had to make sure we weren't forgetting a single thing and had everything out for our wedding that we needed to have out. Kamry completely got dressed in his tux. I did not have on anything besides my tank top and my shorts, because you know the tradition says that the husband is not supposed to see the wife in the wedding dress until you're walking up to the altar. Well, or at least walking up to them. We had to leave out super early and hope that we weren't going to run into traffic, because the drive from Miami to Fort Lauderdale is about a good hour drive. So especially since you're heading there in a Thursday morning, knowing that there could be work traffic, we had our fingers crossed. We ended up making it there pretty early, which was great because traffic was literally none at all. So everything went smoothly. When we got there, we ended up parking, paying for our parking. Make sure if you do end up having a beach wedding that you pay the ticket that you're needing for your parking, and you're getting there early so you can get a close spot for your wedding, so you won't have to walk like a mile. Then when we had got there, I ended up getting out of the car to go talk to our officiant to see exactly how things would go, because I had no idea how we were supposed to do this, how Kamry was supposed to walk up, how I was supposed to walk up, what we were gonna do, any things that we specifically had to do. I just wanted to get everything clear so that way we weren't all over the place when trying to do this. When speaking to our officiant, he did advise me that all of those flowers are real flowers, which we did know, but we did not know that they would wilt fast in the heat. Keep in mind, it wasn't a super duper hot day, but those flowers that we had did start to die like once that heat started to get to them. So good thing is that we made it there early, so we were able to have the wedding a bit earlier than expected. So Kamry had ended up going up to the altar, and then I had got dressed in the car. Yes, you guys, I put on my full wedding dress, took all the clips out of my hair, put on my belt, put everything together inside that car. Luckily, there was nobody really around me, so I'm pretty sure that nobody would see me dressed. I don't know. If they did, there might be a picture floating around somewhere. Whatever. I don't care. And then, you guys, we ended up having this phenomenal view of the ocean. There was not many people there on the beach. When I was with Trish, she told me exactly where to stand and where to walk at. Kamry was facing the ocean still, and then he turned around as I was walking up. The smile on his face is one that I will never forget. It was just breathtaking. I literally felt like I was just in a whole fairy tale in the favorite place that we love. Getting married to my very best friend, you guys, my husband, my everything. Oh, it's just, I can't even sum everything up into words, you all. And as soon as we got up there, I don't know, I just couldn't even stop smiling. It was so gorgeous. We had this beautiful ring box that I ended up getting from Hobby Lobby that had both of our rings in there. So there was a couple different options when it came to our vows. We could have gotten the vows from the officiant, or we could have written our own, or just came up with our own. We actually ended up just freestyling our vows. on the spot, so everything came directly from the heart, you guys. It was so wonderful and magical. Hearing everything that Kamrys said, Kamrys hearing everything that I said, it was just a real tear jerker moment, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I have a full face of makeup on and we have to take all these pictures afterwards. I cannot cry, because Lord knows I really could have like boo-hooed that whole time because of how wonderful everything was. And after our whole ceremony, we ended up doing this wonderful pouring of the sand, in which basically unifies the both of you all. You get to pick out your colors of sand. We ended up going with like a light peach color and then the brown sand, and pouring those both together, and then it came into this, you guys, which is so gorgeous. I know you really can't tell that much that these two colors are combined because they sort of got mixed together, but as you see, those are two different colors in the picture. It was just phenomenal. And then came taking all of our beautiful wedding pictures. Our photographer Trish was so amazing. Although there wasn't a lot of people on their beach, there was some people, and she did let us know that she would drown them out or just crop them out where you wouldn't even be able to tell that there was people even there. And she was so right, because we had absolutely no photo bombers in any of our pictures. I'm so pleased with how they turned out. She told us exactly how to pose, where to stand, how to stand, and she was so friendly and kind. Everything ended up going perfectly. I loved how our photos turned out, and I love every single thing that she recommended us to do. All in all, I would say this destination wedding was one for the record books for us. I definitely loved having our destination wedding, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Can I speak on whether destination weddings are better than your traditional weddings? I cannot, because I've never had a traditional wedding, and also there's perks probably to every single one. It really goes based off of your preference. So you guys, I hope this video was super informative for you. If you plan on doing your destination wedding down at Florida or really any beach, just keep in mind any of those tips and tricks that I had. If you have any tips and tricks also, please list them down below, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them. I would love to answer you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on another one of my videos. Please enjoy these last few photos of our wedding, you guys. Thank you guys so much. See y'all later.